Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
So, have you guys know about Guidance Tamil Nadu Industries Department? Yeah, I used to work there. We were the first team which formulated the policy for industrial industrial policy, right? So we handled about 40 to I handled about 40 to 50,000 crores of investments, grounded it in Tamil Nadu, and we saw a decent grounding. And I handled general manufacturing and food processing side of it. And post that, I also got into an IT firm which created NFTs. So it was exciting for me in 2019 that non-fungible tokens were coming up, and I wanted to get to know about it. So I joined the company. Then again, I wanted to be part of a bigger picture, so I joined Startup TN again. So here I'm an associate vice president. I take care of open innovations, and I also handled global coordinations for Startup TN. So as Sir mentioned, we never had that perspective of Startup TN coming under MSME, and other states have different prerogatives. Here in Startup TN, we run about 45 other schemes, and we started in 2021. We revamped in 2021. I think it is a bit late for Tamil Nadu to start the startup nodal agency. But then I think when Guidance Tamil Nadu started, the large industries didn't know where to go and submit their grievances, where to get their approvals, where to get the land, even though when SIPCOT existed. So when a facilitation body was formed, every other large companies came to them, and it was easy for us. But when Startup TN we started in 2021, we had 115 incubators already in Tamil Nadu, which is the highest in India. And PhD step they started in 98. So when the word startup was not there, it was all about entrepreneurship. So it was always intertwined with academic institutions where they encourage students to become founders and entrepreneurs. So that's the story of it. So March 2021 we started. There were like 2045 startups which are DPIIT registered, and now we have 11,000 plus startups. That was something which we were able to do. And this sensitization happened in the first 2 years in colleges, precisely. So we did something called Break the Barriers. We went and spoke to students, and we made sure entrepreneurs who are successful represented and answered questions. So the idea of getting to be a job seeker, a job creator, that transition we were doing in the first 2 years, and we met about 1 lakh students at least. We have 10 regional offices across Tamil Nadu as Startup T, and we are a team of about 75 people and plus interns. So that big is the team, and we look at equitable growth. So equitable, when I say all kind of demographics, all kind of sectors, we are sector agnostic. We are not looking at a particular sector, but we run schemes of all stages of a startup. Like when ideation stage, we work with Entrepreneurship Development Institute, which is in Gindi again. They have something called voucher program, voucher A, voucher B. So that is something when you start right in the beginning. So you have an idea, you apply for voucher A, they give you 2 lakhs. It's all a grant. So when you do the idea, you get selected, you create an MVP, then they give you voucher B, which is around 5 to 7 lakhs. And it is a continuous process. Every 45 to 60 days, they invite applications. And this you should note, EDII. That is the first ever program given for early stage startups. We start there. And last year, I was connecting about 13 countries across the world to Startup TN to enable cross-border collaborations. Example, we opened up an office in Dubai, and we are also opening up in Germany, and US. We have a very good. We are working with Falconex. So we came from there voucher programs to this. So this transitions has always been possible because the team is so good. We started with a relatively a smaller team. Now we are grown up. So I would quote some of the initiatives which we do. So for early stage startups, we run something called, okay, when they receive voucher A, voucher B, it doesn't have to be mandatory, but then they have created an MVP, minimum viable product. Post that they can apply for TANSEED, Tamil Nadu Seed Fund. Tamil Nadu Seed Fund is something, okay, I run the Tamil Nadu 4. TANSEED 4.0 version. Now it is 7th version which is going to be released. So when I ran TANSEED 4.0, it was more of a grant. It was a grant. We gave about 10 to 15 lakhs for startups in 2 tranches. Now it is more of a CCD model. We take about 3% compulsory convertible debentures because we thought it has to be taken seriously, because we didn't want startups who are actually doing good miss out. So when TANSEED happened, I'll tell you, walk through the process. We announce and we receive applications. We partner with incubations across Tamil Nadu, and in fact we have once we also partnered with IITM. So for 4.0, we received 1,600 applications across Tamil Nadu, and we gave about 41 startups 10 to 15 lakhs each. So 10 is for all startups. 15 we do consider women founded startups. Then we also look at green climate action, green tech as a separate category because we wanted to enable that space. So TANSEED, you go through a initial submissions. We evaluate through partners, and post that if you're getting selected, next we'll be calling you for a pitching. That pitching, you'll have to look at any traditional pitching. Look at talking about your product, your company, and your scope. Then we finally select on a comprehensive finale. So this is TANSEED, which we. So it's not about the money. It is how it reflects is it's more of the validation. Okay, if it is a TANSEED winner, they've gone through a proper validation process or evaluation process. That is what we offer. So that has become a tag, and I think that is one of the primary schemes which we run. And we also run acceleration cohorts, and we partner with incubation centers. We enable startups to match to those incubation centers based on their competencies. Like example, Madurai Agri Business Incubation Forum, MABIF, it has been there even before Startup TN. So they have been nurturing startups to get their agri and food-based startups. What do? They do even helping out FSSAI, agri norms, agri data for that matter, because they are inside the Madurai Agri College. So we partnered with them for enabling agri tech startups. So this is the kind of, see, since Startup Team is a nodal agency under the government of Tamil Nadu, we make sure we use the infrastructure which is very, very viable in Tamil Nadu, and that's what we do. And we also run Beyond TN. Beyond TN is what I've been running for the last year. So Beyond TN, we ascertain collaborations. Example, when we looked at Dubai market, we opened a Startup TN desk there. What it does, we have 3 ecosystems in UAE, which is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. Sharjah was more like an academic space where you have Shara. Then for Abu Dhabi, it's more like an incubator space. We have Hub 71, and Dubai, we have more of an innovation angle. We signed MOUs with all 3 kinds of entities. In Dubai, it was Ignite, DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center. So what we do is we refer startups from here to enable any kind of a market access or funding or investor connect uh, to our startups, basically to go to Dubai and UAE market. So we have a person who is working from there, and we enable that. So This we also traveled to Finland and Denmark last year. So there was an event called Slush, which was a very big international event. We enabled startups to participate from Tamil Nadu to Finland, and we also did a roadshow in Copenhagen, Denmark, where there are many entities like what is the ecosystem we have here. Similarly, they have there which are never exposed to the Indian or Southeast markets. So, for an example, there's a Danish Danban, Danish Business Angels Network. It has been like there for 70 years, and we spoke with them, and we are now organizing for a pitch session where Danish investors will look at Tamil Nadu based startups. So these are the kind of initiatives which we do. Yeah, there is a it's a very common question. Every startups go through an evaluation procedure. So how do we do it? There are multiple criteria for it. Like if you're looking at an early stage startup, the basic for any startup to go and ask for a funding, uh, first thing is on a government perspective, why the government should invest in your startup, right? Okay, if it is going to enable jobs, if it is going to make a product, fine. We don't look into the product, but is it going to enable jobs? Is it going to become a very good company? That is the basic line of it. Okay, we are enabling a citizen from Tamil Nadu to get into a business to become a successful entrepreneur. Okay, that is done. When we go about specific uh, cohorts, let's say when I say specific cohorts, specific sectors, and specific stages, it varies. For an early stage startup, we won't look at revenue numbers. What is your, all these questions. Even before that, whether so we always talk about validation. So for any startup, you fail fast, which means that you validate it as soon as possible. Uh, when you look at early stage, especially with students and community who are very new, starting aspiring entrepreneurs. Okay, when validations happen, we tend to look at these points which I told. Evaluation process, as I told you, for a TAN seed, what we'll do is we'll ask for many figures, like what is their product, has it been validated, have you created a product, and if that product is viable to get into the market, have you done your market study? If there is a market study, have you find any potential clients, right? So there are many factors of having a comprehensive startup deck. It differs based on stages and specific sectors for that matter. Yeah, so this is what we do at Startup TN, and we try to partner, and we try to facilitate as much as possible. And we also run something called smart cards. Smart cards are physical smart cards with a login and a password, where we are enabling, example, if it is Amazon, if it is Canva, we are talking with Canva, that they will be onboarded vendors in the smart card, and we give it to all the startups in Tamil Nadu, wherein they will look at uh, just a marketplace kind of a thing where they can choose their services on a subsidized rate or sometimes free. Like compliances, they'll have to go through any uh, uh, audit firms. Example, Vakil Search is onboarded. So this is one of the things which we give for startups to enable and muscle up for better deliverables. Example, Microsoft Azure, we are talking with them for giving free credits for them to use compute. So this is smart cards, and and holistically we also, I'm sorry. So holistically we also work with institutions. We do something called pre-incubation circles for any institution who is just now starting to get into entrepreneurship, enable or sensitize students about entrepreneurship. They want to come into startup space. We give them about 3 lakhs in region region wise to comprehensively develop the startup ecosystem in that region, being a nodal agency in that particular region through an academic infrastructure. So pre-incubation circles we run. And yeah, so investor connects. Okay, investor connects. We do have a team, separate team, where they call for startups in particular sectors and cohort, where investors will find ways. I mean, we'll call it investors, and we ask them to pitch in front of the investors directly. So, and we also have fund of funds, TAN fund, Tamil Nadu fund, which we aggregate a fund of fund about. We are looking at 80 crores now, which we enable and make startups pitch to the fund of funds, and that is one other thing which we are doing. So, anything else on Falconex? Falconex, they came. They're a very good startup stakeholder from US. We are just talking with them, and we wanted to set up a startup team desk at US with through Falconex, but it is on talk. But if you want to, like, get into US market, then we can list few people who have already associated with us to, we'll leave it to you to access them, or we can also do an introduction. Yeah. Yes, so we have signed an MOU with the Dubai International Financial Center, which they are located at Dubai. They have a space which helps startups from here to go there in soft land. Like example, setting up the company for their local compliances and etc. Once you get there, they will also assess your startups, and even before that they will be assessing you. You can look at market access perspective as well. So market access, when I say, they can link you with a local partner or a local market. See, it depends on your product. If it is a product which needs certain regulatory certifications, then they will help you get those certifications. So it could be it could be a food startup, it could be a product startup, tech product. So basically that is the entry point. So once you go there, they can also link you with Dubai Future Foundation, AI innovation, AI mission, and those touch points. So that is where we established in, like, for the past year. US and Singapore also is on pipeline. We are working at Germany as well. We get equal applications from agri-tech, and you'll be surprised, Web3, XR, AR, VR. It is more of, more startups are in Coimbatore than in Chennai. And we also get a fair share of SaaS startups. And manufacturing, yes, but then it is not very specific to sector. When, especially when you run a seed fund of for the state, the numbers are higher. So when we run Tanseed 4.0, it was like 1,600 applications. Now we run Tanseed 7.0. It might be 2,200 applications, even more than that. And sectors, the numbers might different on a very timid scale, not so huge. Example, we facilitate through incubation centers which are specific to sectors. For example, Madurai Agri College, you have Coimbatore TNAU in Coimbatore as well. And for Agri, that comes a pool of applications because we partner them for the evaluations also. When you take SaaS startups, we partner with Head Start. We each also partnered with IITM 2 years before, and Will Grow. Will Grow is in Agri accelerator again. And investments, as far as we facilitated, as far as investments facilitated at our office, the sector classifications is more irrelevant than the actual startup, because a startup getting qualified. So when I say 2,045 startups in 2021 to 11,000 startups, it is just numbers. But what actually is a very good startup? So the ratio could be very, very surprising for you. It's very less. The actual startups who have a proper product, which are certified, regulated, and have found a client, and it's ready to scale up. That startup ratios are very, very less. And if you look at sectors, I don't think that makes any sense. It is more about how many companies who can make bigger than becoming unicorns. Example, Tanseed first version, it was Ipope. Ipope was a Tanseed winner in the first version. Now he's a very big company. He has raised about 10 million now, and he's just got his payment gateway as well, I think, and he's scaling up. So we do have good companies from each of the cohort, and let's say 5 6 companies from each cohort, and we've been running it for now 4 years. So it depends on the startup rather than the sector. So we facilitated for any sector for that matter. It's not specific to a sector. So that is why we look at BIRAC funding. Example, if you take Ramachandra hospitals, they have SRIC, which caters to only healthcare medical startups, and they are very much partnered for BIRAC funding. So BIRAC funding is where you get 50 lakhs, 50 lakh rupees, and but you'll have to go through a procedure. So even before that, the basics I would recommend is that what is a startup? A startup is a recognized entity. It could be a partnership firm, it could be a proprietorship firm, it could be a LLP, limited liability partners, it could be a private limited. This is what is a startup, simple, on paper. Okay, let's say if a private limited is eligible for applying for a grant or a proprietorship is applicable for getting eligibility, it is always a private limited which will be the eligible thing, because uh, you'll have to like think out of the box. Like, it is basically they evaluate the incorporation certificate. What is an incorporation certificate? There are directors, minimum two directors in it. Why two directors? They'll have to upload their DSCs, digital signatures. What is a DSC? There are actual persons. Okay, private limited is a formed government recognized entity on paper. Now, what you do with it matters. So this has to be very fundamental, and you have to make sure of it, because for this will enable you get DPIIT. What is DPIIT? Department of Promotions and Trade, Industries and Trade. They run Startup India, which recognizes startups. You'll have to upload the pitch, you'll have to get it even DSC verified. On top of their director's DSC, you'll have to get the organizational DSC, which means that this company is run by this person. So after you do it, they verify your pitch deck. Okay, whether this is a traditional MSME or this is an innovative factored startup. Okay, if that is there, they give out the certificate. That is what we have raised from 2045 to 11,000. Even in that 11,000, we still have a very lesser percentage which are actually doing good. Right. So I think I have touched upon many things here. So Startup TN, we are open for any kind of a facilitation for startups from Tamil Nadu, and we wish to enable and scale up and make sure these companies make it big. And that is why we exist. And thanks for this opportunity. And I will leave out my card here or somewhere, and you guys can access. So we run only two funds, sir. One is SCST seed fund. SCST seed fund is for community people from SCST to apply and enable them to have good growth in the entrepreneurship side. So that is specific to the community. We run TANSEED, which is like for Tamil Nadu, anyone can apply. And that we have, as I told you, fourth version, we got 1,600 plus applications. We gave 49 or 41 startups, 10 lakh each. And now it's the same number, 40 to 50. And now we have increased it to 20 crores for the next year, I guess, 10 to 20 crores. So the numbers will increase, more number of success. So the applications also increase. So it's basically the same ratio. Like when you take 2,000 applications, you get 50 selected. That could be the average ratio for TANSEED. Yeah. Investors Connect, it always happens. We do a regular Investor Connect. We call in, we have some associated investors who are interested to look at and invest in Tamil Nadu startups, we curate a list. We call for startups in that sector the investor is interested in. Then we do it in our office. So that's the opportunity which we create. I'm going to do Global Startup Summit in Coimbatore in October 8 and 9. So that will be the first time a state government is taking that big scale of an initiative to do a startup specific event. So there I'm taking care of again global coordinations, and I'm also creating a space for corporates. So this space will be working with corporates to come and represent their example. So open innovation, what we do is we talk with corporates. If there is a problem statement from them, then we make startups solve it and probably become their vendors. So example, we are talking with, I mean, we have signed an agreement with Bosch, Samsung, and Amazon. So many other companies. For Amazon example, we give marketplace access for startups to get use of it. For Grundfos we are talking. Grundfos is where they are water company, and if they have a problem statement, which we are working on, they are bringing up a problem statement. We'll ask startups to solve it. If uh, either an hackathon or an open challenge or anything, if they are able to solve it, their patented product, anything that they become their vendors. So this corporates are going to come in, put up a space in GSS as well. So GSS is a very big event. We are doing it for 2 days, where the chief minister is coming, and we are calling in delegates from all over the world, and making sure we give some good curated sessions for the startups from Tamil Nadu and gain visibilities. So we look at positioning Chennai and Coimbatore. That is equitable growth for us. Make sure startups from anywhere, ideas can come from anywhere, right? So that is the baseline. So we enable startups from anywhere to grow, scale up, and become good companies. So Jesus happening there. So I think it's a very good event for startups to participate, and we have huge space for startups to put up their stall, and I think for incubators as well. So incubators, if you are like a very early stage person, you can either tag along the incubators who are putting up stalls, or there could be methods worked in the institution. So TRL, we don't specify TRL. We take in applications because it's for early stage. What we see is we see MVPs, a minimum viable product, which is scalable. Because the kind of awareness on these things, technology readiness level, or getting it regulated or certified, it is still missing up in larger startup pool, where they manage to get a client, and they again go back and look at the regulatories, go back and look at certifying the quality and all those things. So we don't put that on the beginning. But anyways, if you are conducting, okay, we also do technology transfers. We are going to launch up a TTC platform, technology transfer platform, where we are working on getting licensed products, licenses. We list them for anyone to use it. They pay the patent to them, cost to them. So this is also which we are doing. For that, probably we look at TRL and get the licenses properly looked at. So for a startup to be able to get into a market, and for a startup rather talking and telling that they have developed something like this, whether the product is actually there, and that is why we stress on MVPs. And the MVPs, if they are a very good tested product, or if they have published, let's say if they have patented it already, I think it's a sure shot. For someone who's just creating a pitch deck and telling that I have an amazing idea, then it is not going to work. And I think bootstrapping is very, very important. Bootstrapping is not something you put in money, you put in time. So time is the essential. Have you taken the efforts? Have you created it? Have you made it qualified? Have you find your customers? Have you find your market at least? Okay, you created a great product. Is it actually fit? Have you done your GTM? Have you done your revenue projections? So this is what we expect. So that is why we are not very good with 11,000 numbers be there, but still we don't have good startups. That's the problem. So anyone who can become an entrepreneur, but are they doing it right? So that is why we look at validation so much. You say whatever you want. You create a humanoid robot for cleaning the floors, but is it necessary? So that has to happen right from the college academia level. That is what we intend to do. Yeah, and often the market or the government could not be conducive. So I do a AI thing, AI startup. We work on inferences, image inferences, and etc. But the point is, do we have the data sets? Okay, if the data sets are they actually ready? Is there a data marketplace? Is the government going to let you use the data? Is there a regulatory framework? Okay, they introduced DPDP Act in 2023. Has it been regulated? Is there a consultant who can actually validate, okay, you can use this data? You're allowed to do this. So as a person who wanting to do a startup, I think it's very, very, very mandatory. If not, you're just wasting your time and others as well. I'll tell a very common perspective for AI. Let's say if someone is telling I'm very good at AI and I've done an amazing product, I won't trust them until and otherwise they say they have an accredited data set. Especially when you do inferences. Inferences are basically you train a model with data, you get the best possible accurate outcome. Okay. If it is accurate, I would ask, how did you train it? I had 1,000 images. It's not enough. 10,000 images. It's not enough. So basically, how do you do the validation and regulatories? As a data science person, if someone is looking at it, you can never win an argument. So basically, AI is moving towards data, and I think Tamil Nadu has the best good data sets. You just have to organize it. For a startup who's looking at AI, so there are like, let's say if there are 100 startups, there are only startups who are working in agentic AI. Okay, I'm creating a chatbot or generative, basically generative where you put up a query, it gives out information. But actual use cases, I think it's very, very relevant here in this space, in data science and science, and it's very, very important that it has to come from an institution because it helps a lot in regulations. If sir decides to endorse a proper thing, he will ask the right questions. He will ask, where did you get it from? How have you trained? Is it actually viable? Is it actually good? Whether the data is accurate? Is it an sanitized data? So the many things which we do for research, that is very important in AI. And regulatories, we are catching up, especially in healthcare. AI, we are working with Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency, which is a separate department. They are the data banks basically. They have data of the entire government uh, working attendance, HR. They could train various HR models with that data, but is it out? No, it is not out because of regulatories. The only state which has done it right now is Telangana. They have put up an open data portal. Now we are catching up. I think Chennai is the medical and we can aggregate data. So should look at. So example, we created a product wherein it'll detect cancer polyps when colon cancer. But the data set was from where research is good. They have accredited data. We were able to find a decent 80% accuracy. So it's a very deep dwell, right? Images, how much are you putting in for inf you are putting for training? It makes sense for a model. Set is very less, then your model is not so accurate. lot of other things. Governments involved, and I'm sure in next year or so, up a data portal as well. And this data portal is very viable for this department particularly, because you need data to, you know, validate.